everybody. Hey, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Hey, how's everybody doing? Did you enjoy the event so far? Yeah. So hopefully we'll see you all back at Expert Dojo after this. I believe I'm the last presenter. I have two companies that I'm going to present to you. Before I get into that, I just wanted to thank City Blockchain Summit for putting this all together. David Whiting, Paulson as well, and the team. Also all of their sponsors, and also UCLA for making this happen. This has been a real great experience the last 2 days. So my name is Clee Walsh. I'm with Blockchain Educators. I'm co-founder. As the introduction noted, we do blockchain classes in New York City and in cities around the United States, and we have a network of cities around the world where we do blockchain classes. We'll do in-house blockchain training for individuals or for corporations. We also have an online platform where we offer blockchain classes online as well. So, also, quick heads up, I don't know if any of you are going to be around tomorrow, but we're doing a workshop. We're doing a 3 to 4 hour workshop at 9 o'clock in the Physics and Astronomy building here on UCLA campus. I'm going to be teaching a quick overview of blockchain. You're all invited. It's a free course, so you know, if any of you have the time, it would be great to see you there. You can catch up with me later if you need any details. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce a company that is a company that's dear to my heart because they tackle a topic that is so important to myself, to everyone, to society. This company is called Primas. I know the CTO, Lou Gan, and the co-founder, Kitty. They are visionary in their approach, and I'm really excited to share this with you today. So, first off, how do you all feel about fake news? Love it, right? I wonder how Zuckerberg felt when he had to go to Congress and testify to the whole issue of fake news. And we've come to realize that there are a number of large corporations and money interests involved. Who it is, who's to say? Maybe it's the Russians, maybe it's large corporations. Regardless, we do know that there's influence. So how can you have a democracy? How can you run a government if there's so much misinformation around? I think a lot of us take for granted just how important information is. So this company, Primas, of course, they value information to the highest level, and they've set up this amazing blockchain infrastructure to help authenticate our content. They are reshaping the content market. Their goal is to restore health to the internet. We live in the information age. How can you work or live in the information age if you can't rely on your information? Is your information true? Is it false? Is it fake? How do you get around it? Well, introducing Primas. What they have is a blockchain which helps individuals and corporations publish content, to promote the content, and it's also a transactional platform for content. You all probably know the founder of the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee. 30 years ago, he may not have envisioned what the internet was being used for. It's a fantastic technology, but it hasn't really changed fundamentally in the last 30 years. This company, Primas, they've already implemented it. This is already in action. You all, if you have a chance, you can take out your smartphones and you can search for Primas on the App Store. That's P-R-I-M-A-S. Download the app and give it a try. How about this? I don't know if any of you remembered this story, right? The head of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, supposedly died in a car crash. Did anybody see this story? Yeah, some of you did. You're probably shocked. Did you sell your Ethereum? You may not have, but A lot of people did, and the price plummeted, all based on a fake news story. So let's think about the dynamics that we have here. We have the internet, we have the web, you have content providers, people who are providing content, but how do they get paid? At the moment, it's through advertising. What drives the advertising? Traffic. What drives the traffic? Sensationality. If it's sensational, it's going to fly faster than a real, true story. It's just the nature of how it's working at the moment. We need something new. We need a new paradigm where we can track where we can track and authenticate the stories and the content that we have. 30 billion pieces of Facebook comment monthly, 500 million tweets per day. Look at that statistic. A false story travels through the internet so much faster than a true story. So it has an upper hand advantage to truth. The author credit. If you really delved into this story, you would see that the author credit, he's actually only posted a few times. A number of people had also said that his stories were false to begin with. If you took the photo had been taken 3 years previous, 2 or 3 years previous, so it was obviously false. Primas has a system where your browser can have a link in it, where it will know all this information ahead of time and it will send you an alert. The beauty of this system is that it's now tracking the metadata. It tracks the metadata with the story, it attaches it to the story in the blockchain, and it lives with it throughout its life. This is also great for authors, content providers. People have a huge problem with their work being plagiarized and taken, repurposed. So how do they do it? Notice I mentioned the metadata earlier. So that's the beauty of this. They take metadata such as publication time, author credit, reproductions, listed resources. All of that is tagged to the story and lives with the story as it travels through the internet. Getting a little technical here, you can see how the World Wide Web is working, and the technology that Primas is using is called DTCP. That's Decentralized Trusted Content Protocol. They have a system in place. It's like a layer that lives over the internet, and it evaluates the content, and it also tracks the metadata. You'll see this listed a few times here, DNA. What is the DNA? Well, they're actually able to create a hash or a code for that particular story, and it'll live with that story for its lifetime. So every story, every piece of content has a unique ID attached to it. And then the other issue. Remember I mentioned before how advertisement is driving the internet. So it doesn't even have to be good news or worthy news. It just has to get your attention to sell a product. Think about it for a moment. In the world that we live in, remember hundreds of years ago, you couldn't get content. You had to pay so much money for your content. Now, we're up to our eyeballs in content. Your average individual can't find the day to really get the information that they need to do what they need to do. Try to think of trying to authenticate a story, how much manpower and resources that takes. Now, it's all automatic with the Primas system. I'm going to skip through a couple of slides here because I've gone through it already. If you haven't done so already, take a picture of the screen. You can download the Primas app, give it a shot. It works great. I have it on my phone. Some screenshots, and you can see a screen here of some of the metadata and the hashes that they're using, which makes the stories identifiable and trackable. They've already had success with this type of technology. There's a company in Singapore which they were a part of called Yuan Ben. That's the Chinese word for original. And they do copyright protection. And it's already in use with 50 to 60 companies in China. Large corporations are using this for copyright. The nice thing is that it's all automatic. You don't need someone researching every story to see if it's in violation. Quick summary of how it works. You can see the various layers, internet, then the blockchain. They're Trusted protocol, those are like the nodes that are decentralized that have the software in them. Economic incentives, so there's also a token connected to this called the Primas token, PST. It actually has a very high market value in China. It's in the top 25. So they use the token to incentivize authors to create content, and those authors will actually get paid. They have decentralized crawlers. That is software inside the nodes, which is constantly combing through the internet to look for fake stories or plagiarized content. And then there are self-governing groups. The people who participate in this, they can create their own groups, they can set up their own governance, and they can have their own communities and their own little mini ecosystems. And then you can see the blue squares. Those are some of the products that live on top of this ecosystem. Getting a little bit more technical, you can see you have the nodes and then the things that live on the nodes, the crawlers, the dApps, the platform. There's the browser plugin, which I mentioned before. And then all of that is centralized into one platform, one accessible location where all this data can be managed and used and verified and authenticated. They have a number of locations around the world. Primas already has a team of 50 to 60 people. They have 26 engineers working around the clock on this subject. Lou Gan, I know personally, he's the CTO. Kitty Lan, Tyler Russell, the marketing director, and of course, Oliver Wu. He's done a number of great presentations as well for Primas. Think about it. What if you want to save the environment? What if you want to stop global warming? How are you going to do it? You can't do it with the wrong information. That wrong information is only going to empower the people who are capitalizing on possibly the destruction of the environment. So there has to be a solution. And this is the best solution that I've found so far. If you don't mind, snap a pic of the QR code. You can stay in contact with Primas. I'll be giving you my information in a moment. Quickly, does anyone have a question or a comment regarding Primas before I go to the next slide? Yeah. They have funding already. Of course, more funding, more investment, more interest would benefit them. They already have the app out. The system is already in place. They have a huge international team developing this. So at the moment, I'm helping them with US exposure. And they just want to get the word out. Anyone who's interested, you can contact them. You can contact me. I can put you in contact with them. Yes? Do you have a desktop app for Primas? They are working on that. So you could stay in contact with me, and I'll let you know when that's coming out. It should be out shortly. They're working on it at the moment. Okay, well, oh, yes, sir. STEMIC, to tell you the truth, I'm not too familiar with STEMIC. Could you explain it to me a little better?
It's the crypto alternative to Reddit. So have you heard of Reddit? So it's basically you can publish content.
Yes.
And then you get rewarded based on how good your content is.
Oh, did you say Steam it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it has an element to that in it. It just has more flexibility. You can create your own groups. This is very interesting. The Steemit exists on, I believe, a BitShares platform or kind of an EOS style platform. This is using the Ethereum blockchain, and the token is tied to the Ethereum blockchain. And the thing that's really interesting about this is they have an acceleration layer to this technology. So all of this content, you could imagine, well, geez, that's a lot. Ethereum could barely keep up with CryptoKitties. How's it going to keep up with all of this? Well, they have an acceleration layer where they batch all the content, and then they batch it into blocks, which are then written to the Ethereum blockchain. They're very talented at what they do, so as time evolves and a better platform comes along, they can easily shift blockchains. But it is similar to Steemit in that the individuals who participate, they earn revenue. They earn extra tokens for extra views, for more views, for the popularity of their content. So they're trying to encourage true content that people enjoy.
One more question. So as the amount of content on a platform increases, does the time for mining, it would increase? So
No, they are working on that. Like I said a moment ago, they have an acceleration layer to this. And so at the moment, it is not slowing the system down. So with any luck, I'll see some of you at the workshop tomorrow, 9 a.m. And with that said, I'm going to wrap it up because I've obviously passed my time by a few minutes.
Take two more questions.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to, he was the last one, guys. Give it up. He waited till the very, very end.
Thanks.
He did a great
Thank
job.
you.